just put on a show. 다른 걸 원해 more. 경기를 깨고 raw. We don't stop until the sun goes up. 다 내려놓고 춤을 춰. No way you can make us stop. We about to paint the town. La-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. Paint the town. La-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. Paint the town.
The Canyon Cougars will try and even up their District 12 5A record tonight as they play host to the Lobos of Lehman High here on the Cougars Network. Good evening. Alongside James Hadnot, I'm Tony Brubaker, and Canyon football is on the air. Glad you could join us on this beautiful Friday night with some high winds coming out of the north. James, should be a good one. We know Lehman has had a tough time on the football field this year. Canyon starting to turn the corner a little bit. Should be a good football game.
And Lehman, of course, is giving up a lot of points per game. They give up 37 points per game. The last time that Canyon was here, they scored 45 points. They just didn't score the 3 necessary after that, losing to Dripping Springs in that district opener. So Canyon's going to look to score on this Lehman squad, and Lehman's going to have to keep up.
Canyon will receive the opening kick. And it is a line drive end over end to the far sideline and out of bounds. So the Cougars will start in good territory as they begin their first possession. The Lobos kicker was Edgar Garcia. No one really had a chance to return it. For the Cougars, Noland was back there. So we'll see, I believe Drew Berry will get the start. The senior quarterback's thrown 63% of his passes for completions for 773 yards, has 4 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. He's also carried the ball for 3 touchdowns on the season. The Cougars will start out with a couple of receivers to the top side, the far side of the field. Got a tight end and an H-back. Berry takes the handoff, a little jet sweep. Nolan comes around near side and gets knocked off his feet. A good tackle by the safety, Johnson. A gain of a couple, and the Cougars will face second down in about 8.
And Tanner Johnson plays on both sides of the ball. You're going to hear his name a lot because he catches the football, runs the ball. But right there, playing sideline to sideline, he shows off his speed on the defensive end.
Berry again sends 2 receivers to the top side, 1 near. The setback is Cameron Bibbins, the senior, with over 500 yards rushing so far this season. Berry again looks to the sideline, 2nd and 8. Out of the shotgun, short drop going long, near sideline. Has a runner down there. It's Eli Adams, the sophomore receiver, 3rd on the team in receptions with 19, but he's overthrown. It's incomplete, and it's 3rd and 8.
And he got good coverage on the beginning, but off the line, when you have a good break, Eli Adams just made a quick move and got right by the cornerback. If it's a better throw, it's probably a touchdown.
No doubt about that. So 3rd and 8. Berry looking again to this side. Has Adams again down the near sideline. He catches it over the top. Good pass, good catch. Johnson there. Coverage by Eddie Martinez. But Eli Adams, the sophomore, makes the catch and a big first down for the Cougars into Lobo territory at the 35.
And like you just saw on the replay, dropping it in the bucket. If you go into the well once again, why not? Because off the line, Eli Adams has gotten plenty of separation.
Here's Bibbins, got a hole off right tackle and gets a nice gain across the 30. Almost first down yardage. It looks like he'll be a little bit short. It's going to be 2nd down and about 1 for the Cougars as they're trying to go in a hurry now. Berry, everybody broke off to the left. Give it to Bibbins. Actually kept it after he faked the handoff to Bibbins. And he'll get brought down, but a short gain, maybe no gain. It'll be now 3rd down and 1.
And Josiah Mata at the defensive lineman spot just really blew everything up. And so Berry didn't know what to do with the handoff, and that's why Bibbins ended up not taking it. Berry tried to get it behind him, but Mata was in the backfield with both of them, and that's why he made that stop. It's 3rd down and short.
Canyon will try to run it again. This is Bibbins. He has room off right side again. Dragged down by a couple of different Lobos, but he'll have first down yardage. Looked like the linebacker that time, Vasquez, was one of those in on it. So 1st and 10 from the 23-yard line, pardon me. This is a handoff to the backup tailback. That's Alcorta, Jacob Alcorta, the junior who has about 140 yards for 4 yards a carry, gets about 4, and it'll be 2nd down and 6. He's dragged down on the play by, well, I couldn't see him. Maybe it was Crum, one of the outside linebackers.
And Alcorta is a good change of pace back. He came in for Bibbins the last time these teams were here because Bibbins caught an injury later on in the game, and Alcorta ended up having a touchdown in that contest, so he is a good secondary option for Canyon.
So 2nd and 6. This is back to Bibbins. They catch him at the line. He spins away and gets a couple of yards. Linebacker Matthew Maldonado made first contact. It'll be 3rd and about 5 from inside the 20-yard line.
And with that interior run, Bibbins is trying to just break past the line. If he can break past the line, he's breaking that, getting to the outside and really finding his way, maybe potentially for good gains. But, again, when you have interior linemen getting up the field, they're the one beating the lineman off the ball. Bibbins really can't break free.
1 receiver to the top, 2 to the near side. Bibbins comes to the left. They'll roll out Barry. He avoids 1 tackler. Now he has some room. Near sideline, gets across the 15. Near first down territory at the 12, they'll mark him, and that should be good enough for a first down.
And an athletic play there made by Drew Berry, who does have some size on him, but he used the speed to get around the linebacker coming in. And so just a way to keep the chains moving, and now they're in the red zone trying to get that first score.
So from the 12, 1st and 10. Berry again checks the sideline, changes the play with his offensive line. Bibbins comes near side, gets around the first tackler, ends up getting brought down by that tackler after he got slowed down. That was defensive end Josiah Mata, but he did get a couple of yards to the 10. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
And they set the formation to that left side of the field because they had the 3 wide receivers on the wide side, and so they think, but the problem was the defense was all on that side as well. There were only 2 men really defending the wide receiver, so they were expecting the run, and they played it well, stopping them for a short gain.
So from the 10-yard line, they'll split 2 receivers to the top side, both of them above the hash, and they'll run it again. This is Alcorta. Not much, though. He gets hit at the line, gets about a yard, maybe no gain at all. It'll be 3rd and 8 as their defense is really coming to action. That was a backup defensive end, Aguilar, pardon me. So now Barry again with 2 receivers broke either way. That's Alcorta beside him. He's going to throw, looking left, gets some pressure, pulls it down. Now he's going to run across the 10, hit at the 5 where he goes down. So it'll be 4th down, and will they go for it instead of, I can't imagine them trying to kick a field goal here, but that's what it looks like they're going to do. Austin Davidson, their field goal kicker, will come out. The senior, 7 of 7 on field goals this year, has only missed 1 extra point. This one from 23 yards. The snap is good. The hold is down. The kick is high. And between the uprights, Canyon goes on the board first. 6:27 to go, first period. The Cougars go up 3-0. We'll be back after this timeout on the Cougars Network. And we're back to Cougar Stadium. The Cougars up 3-0 on the Davidson 23-yard field goal. Davidson will now kick off to the Lobos. Going right to left. That's a high arching kick into the wind. It's kind of held up, then it's bobbled. Picked up finally, and the defense is down there, and they'll drag the returner down without too much trouble. Get back to around the 20-yard line. We'll see where they spot it officially as we come back to the first set of series for the Lehman Lobos. Kind of a mishandle of a kick there, James. That was dangerous because Canyon had been down there a little quicker. Could have been a turnover.
Yeah, and it was the second wave of returners didn't decide who wanted to catch the ball, and so then the ball dribbles behind both of them, and Tanner Johnson, of course, has to be the one to pick it up, but he does pretty much everything for this Lehman squad. He'll be split out to the right to start things, the leading wide receiver in regards to receptions, yards, touchdowns. He's going to be the spotlight for the Lehman Lobos.
Johnson is on the near sideline. Quarterback Richardson fakes the handoff, wants to throw, looking for a receiver, and then there's a flag comes in. I hope that's not interference. Boy, that was a tough one if it is. The receiver was Kyle Kaufman, a freshman.
And I think it was a run-pass option. Tanner Johnson is down the field.
They're calling offensive pass interference.
Yeah, and Tanner Johnson was down the field blocking like he was trying to potentially have a man come around the side. So either there was a miscommunication in the huddle on the play, or he's trying to block to give a good window for the throw. But it's illegal on both in both cases, and so that's why they're being pushed back the 10 yards.
So instead of 1st and 10, it's 1st and 20. I'm glad you saw that. I saw Tanner Johnson just take off, and Kaufman came underneath. Yeah, that's not very smart. So they've got trips to the near sideline. It's a bad snap. It's rolling in the end zone. Richardson goes, and he'll try to throw it, and it'll be incomplete. That should be grounding. I don't know that there was any eligible receiver anywhere near it. I don't see. Well, the umpire's coming to talk about it. Let's see whether they throw that flag or not.
And it's going to be a safety either way. Yep.
Yeah, that's intentional grounding in the end zone. That should be a safety. And that's what it'll be. Well,
even though the official said loss of down.
Yeah, that's a loss of down signal. Does he not know what the safety?
It's definitely a safety because it's intentional grounding in the end zone, and Canyon now has the rare 5 points in a football game.
So the safety goes on the board for the Cougars. I think we described that everywhere it was supposed to be, and the official just called it a loss of down, which I don't really know. We'll get their names for you eventually here tonight, but our referee missed that one convincingly. It is 5-0, 6:08 to go, first quarter. Midway through the first quarter, the Cougars will now receive a free kick from the Lobos, who will do that kick from the 20-yard line with their kick coverage team. Usually it's a punt. And especially with the wind at its back, I would think they would want to punt, get the ball up in the air, have the best chance to force Canyon on their side of the field for the start of the series. But we'll see. Their punter is Noah Long, but it looks like they're going to place kick it, as they did in the kickoff at the beginning of the game, and that is Edgar Garcia, who is 8 of 14 on extra points this year and has 1 field goal made. So their kicking game is not really a whole lot better than their overall game. The high end over end kick comes near side. That is a good return, and then kind of spun around. That was Noland. Brought it back to the 38-yard line where the Cougars will start 1st and 10.
And so what you liked about Canyon's last possession, they got all the way down to the plus territory, got inside the 10, but when they got down there, Lehman stepped up and didn't allow for a touchdown, which is one thing that they haven't been able to do a lot this season. They've given up a lot of points per game. They don't score a lot. They only score 17 points, and so if you're going to try to win a game, you have to stop teams on defense. And so they answer the assignment on the first time, stopping the run on 2 times, and now a new quarterback in for Kane. We'll see what the Cougars do on this possession.
This is Deuce Adams, the sophomore. He's going to his brother down the near sideline and off his fingertips. Eli could not pull that one in, even though that was about as good a throw as you could expect. That went right off his fingertips. Goes incomplete. It's 2nd and 10. But again, Deuce Adams, the sophomore quarterback, the brother of Eli. We'll have more about them in a bit, but he's thrown the ball for 54% of his completions, 458 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's got 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near. Looks like it's handed off to Bibbins. He goes off left tackle, gets out to the outside, and gets about 5 yards before he's popped. We'll call it a 4-yard gain. It'll be 3rd down and 6. But a good run as he got to the edge, and then their defense seems to be the best part of what we've seen of them tonight as they are running to the ball.
And the front 7 is going to be the key because we've already seen 3 times if there are 3 perfect passes, then there are potentially big gains. Drew Berry got 1 to Eli Adams, and so this inside receiver, we'll see how he plays up this point.
They're coming to the near sideline again, and this one's overthrown. Intended for a backup receiver, Braden Seeley, the junior with 4 catches on the season, couldn't catch up to this one as it goes incomplete and brings up 4th down, and the Cougars are going to have to punt. Their kicker and punter, the same guy, Austin Davidson, number 24, has punted 17 times this season for an average of 36.4 yards.
So Canyon is going to go after Ethan Crum. It's just how many times is he going to be able, how many bullets he's going to have in his holster to see if he's going to stay alive.
This punt not a good one as far as looks, but it's going to be result pretty good as it's kind of end over end, kind of wobbly, goes just to the 20-yard line. So not a bad kick of a little over 40 yards. And the Lobos will start 1st and 10 from their own 20. We'll keep it here with 5:04 to go in the first quarter. Lobos will come out, see if they can do anything better offensively this time with Colin Richardson, the sophomore quarterback. 3 receivers to the near side. They've got a tight end on the far side. The handoff is made, and the backup running back, Sestatia, senior with only 1 carry on the season, carries it to the left this time and gets about 5 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 5 as he got beyond the edge, and a good-looking run.
And again, that's the key. You have all your wide receivers on one side of the field. You run to the opposite side where there's so much more space. If you can get guys out in front, that opens up running lanes, and that's what you saw in that first play, getting in front of the chains.
Looks like they have a tight end and an H-back. Now a little screen out to the near side. It's caught by a receiver. That's the freshman, Kyle Kaufman. Not on the depth chart, but a freshman making some plays. His 2nd catch, well, first one called back by a penalty. But his first catch, this one a 1st down out to the 31-yard line. So again, a tight end on the far side, 2 receivers near side, handoff straight up the middle, and a good tackle. Right at the line of scrimmage. Dean Galindo, backup defensive, well, he's a linebacker of sorts, caught him by the legs that time. Lehman on 2nd and long, fakes the handoff. Richardson wants to throw. It had kind of a bubble screen to Johnson that time, but it was too tall. He couldn't catch it. Goes incomplete. It's 3rd down and long.
And the play design was exactly as you would like to see it. You move off, you hopefully get the linebackers coming up on a fake, and then you throw it to your best wide receiver and your most elusive wide receiver. But you got to put it on his numbers. You can't put it up too high because you put it up too high now, even if he makes the catch, he really doesn't have a way to start to swivel forward. And so simple things like that are going to affect Lehman moving forward because Canyon is opportunistic on defense. You throw that ball too high, too low, you're going to give up a turnover, and that's what the Cougars are looking for as this game goes on.
So 3rd and 9, 2 receivers near side, 1 to the far side. Straight drop back for Richardson. Has some pressure. Wants to throw it. And it goes incomplete. The receiver asking, that's Espinoza, the H-back, looking for a flag, but no flag comes. It's 4th down, and they'll have to punt.
And Aiden McCombs played that very well, not running into the wide receiver before the ball got there, played through him as the ball was arriving, and that's how you draw it up, forcing the pass break up and forcing 4th down.
So the punter is Noah Long. He's also a defensive back. Averages 27.3 yards on his punts. This one kind of end over end, fielded and are on the run. The Cougars got a good luck by Nolan. He's going to take it to the house. Came to the near sideline, had enough blocks to get him room, and that's a touchdown on a punt return. A touchdown of about 45 yards as he felt it, or 40 yards, pardon me. He caught it on the run on a short punt. And had everything set up for a good return as there was a wall on the near sideline, and he got to the sideline before anybody else did. And there you see it on the scoreboard. A nice-looking touchdown by Xavier Nolan.
For us up here in the booth, you could see that immediately because as soon as with the low kick and the low trajectory, everyone was already on the far side of the field. So as soon as he got it, as long as he shifted to 5th and got right to it, he was going to get in the end zone.
Davidson's extra point is up and good. The Cougars go up by a 12-0 margin. 3:20 to go in the opening quarter. We're back after this timeout on the Cougars Network.
Nissan of New Braunfels. Our modern and architecturally impressive building is more like an art gallery than a dealership. With an extravagant showroom floor and customer lounge, with over 500 vehicles in stock, we have the ability to deliver the best savings possible to meet your budget needs. It's our pleasure to serve you in New Braunfels and the surrounding Hill Country communities. Nissan of New Braunfels, you've got to see this place.
When the leaves begin to fall, unfortunately, seasonal illnesses and the flu bug begin to rise. That's why our board-certified physicians are always close by, ready and willing to handle all of your emergency needs. Visit our beautiful facility today, located at 1860 South Seguin Avenue, Suite 400, New Braunfels, Texas. We're always here, ready and willing to provide you with the best options in acute care.
And the Cougars go up 12-0 on the punt return by Xavier Noland. And back to do the kickoff chores is Austin Davidson, the senior. Could get used to doing this a bunch tonight. His end-over-end kick. Did he call for a fair catch? I thought he waved his arm a little bit. Not much room for the returner, who tried to go to the far sideline but just got pinned and nowhere to go. Well, I sure thought I saw him wave his arm. But not. They make the yard line. I think they're spotting it at the 20, so it'll be 1st and 10 right from where they've been most of the night in their own territory.
Injured player. So I believe there's an injured player on the far sideline that they're working on. That's why everyone is currently on the knee.
Just off the edge of the field, right?
Yes, sir.
Is it the kick returner? Was a Lobo. I think it was. I think Eddie Martinez, one of their receivers, was the returner. He's up on his feet, and we should be ready to go. The Cougar student trainers were out there, I think, as well. So the Cougars go back on defense. See if they can wreak some more havoc here in the closing minutes of the first quarter. Richardson hands it off, a good-looking hole right up the middle. That's Sestacia. Well, no, it wasn't. That is Mark Dumlow.
And, of course, just a simple counter play. Everyone starts moving to the right. Dumlow comes and then cuts back after the lane was put together, so a nice gain on first down.
So they'll throw it on second down. Nice job fighting for extra yardage as Matthew Maldonado, one of their receivers, gets first down yardage up to the 38-yard line. That run by the freshman, Dumleo. I'm not real sure how to pronounce his name, but again, I said this at the beginning of the game, 15 true freshmen on this roster. This, again, is a varsity roster. They have 15 true freshmen on the roster, and he's the second one who's made a play for them offensively. So 1st and 10, and there's a fumble on the ground. The Cougars have it. It's another turnover, and the Cougars will start 1st and 10 inside Lobo territory right around the 34-yard line.
And that's the toughest thing about a Lehman team who is struggling on the season. They're 0-3 in district, 1-5 overall on the year. When you give teams extra chances in their building, already down after making some miscues, then the snowball turns to a rolling, huge avalanche. And then you get to a point where, especially for a team like Kane that can score the ball, then you put yourself in a really big hole. Cougars don't care about that. They have the ball in plus territory.
Yeah. They'll play. 3 receivers topside. Barry back at quarterback. Short drop, wants to look down the field, far sideline, toward the sideline. The defensive back not there in time. A great catch. That's Nolan again making another play for the Cougars. He's clear down inside the 5 on a ball that should have had no chance to be caught because the defensive back looked like he was blocking his view, but Nolan hung in there and made the catch. It's 1st and goal from the 4. Barry again. This time Bibbins bounces. No, Barry kept it and got tracked down in the backfield. Good job by the defense busting through the line that time. That is linebacker Maldonado. Second time he's made a big play. Now it's 1st and goal from about the 10.
And again, down here things get tighter. Cougars, the last time they were inside the 10, tried to run it 2 times, ended up moving backwards. Should try to get the ball in the air because that's where they've been successful.
Trying to throw it again. He gets it out to the edge. That's Bibbins into the end zone. Touchdown Cougars. Good call that time as Bibbins just bounced out of the backfield to the far sideline where no one was as all the receivers were near, and gets a touchdown for the Cougars at the 1:23 mark of the first quarter.
Yeah, and it's as simple as that, right? If they're going to sell out for the run because they know you want to run the ball here down in this part of the field, then you give yourself a play action or just send somebody to the flat, throw one right over their heads, and you get into the end zone. So that's what Kane has done, and they're really helping themselves out here early in this game.
And the kick up by Davidson's up and good. It's 19-0. Cougars on top. 1:23 to go in the first quarter. We'll take a timeout on the Cougars Network. And it is a Cougar lead of 19-0, 1:23 to go in the opening quarter. Nothing but red and black tonight for this football stadium as the Cougars have blitzed the Lobos, who've struggled all year long, and they're struggling here tonight. Davidson will kick it off again. This one a high end-over-end kick. And there's I thought something came loose. Must have been a mouth guard that squirted out. But the return, the best field position in a while, they're up to the 31-yard line with the return by Martinez that time. And that's where the Lobos will start 1st and 10.
And Lehman on the season has been outscored 226 points to 103. And so when you're being doubled up every single game, points per game, they're coming off a big loss last time out, 59-0 to Dripping Springs in district play, where they were down 45-0. at the half going into the second half. So that's what's happened for this team up to this point. You put yourself in a really big hole. Now you're throwing the ball a little bit more. Now you have a new quarterback at Tanner Johnson.
There's another run. This one's got a little bit of momentum. Gets out to the left side, or it's brought down by a whole host of Cougars.
So Eddie Martinez on that run. Now you have Tanner Johnson in as your Wildcat quarterback just to try to upstart something on the offensive end and trying to, whether it's him throwing, him running, him forcing a different look. Now he's still back at quarterback.
Richardson's over at the far wide. Little receiver sweep, and there's a legal procedure, my guess. See if our referee can give us the signal. Yes, false start. I was looking it up. The Cougars at 2-4 this season have outscored their opponents. Let me get you the actual number because I had it in my hand just a second ago. They've outscored their opponents 203 to 196, and they're 2-4. That tells you they win big and they lose small. In any event, the Cougars up 19-0 in the closing seconds of the first quarter. This might be the last play. Richardson scrambles, has no one to throw it to. The only one there was a Cougar, and that was a defensive back, a safety actually, Luke Elliott. Tried for the interception, but it goes incomplete. It is second down, and on the incomplete pass, the clock stops. So we will have at least one more play. So we roughed the quarterback. Is that what we called?
Yes, there was a roughing the passer penalty. Richardson was pushed down late after the play, so that is the best thing that has helped them along at this point in time, simply because they haven't really been able to move the football. They've had the ball go back in the end zone. They had intentional grounding, which allowed for the 2 points. They've had a couple of runs, but have not been able to throw the ball down the field. So the penalty is the best thing that's kind of helped them up to this point.
First down by penalty for the Lobos. Richardson deep drop, looking down the center of the field. That is picked off. Oh my. That's Luke Elliott, who had a chance for an interception on the sideline on the roughing the passers play. This one picks one off. Well, that was a great look as he goes up and high points the ball intended for Eddie Martinez. And the Cougars take over on the interception.
So another turnover by Lehman, and just gobbling up these TOs are the Cougars. And points off turnovers, always something that head coaches like Coach Travis Bush are going to like when they look at the film moving forward.
So there's one more play after the turnover, and the Cougars will have a first down play with 4 seconds to go in the opening frame. Back to Deuce Adams at quarterback with 2 receivers on the far side, 1 on the near. A late sweep and a gain of a little over 5. That's the backup, Alcorta. He'll gain it up to the 24, a gain of almost 7. It'll be second down and 3 when we come back after the quarter break. It's 19-0, Canyon on top. Second quarter comes after this timeout on the Cougars Network. Cougars come back to start the second quarter. It's 19-0. Cougars on top. 3 receivers near side. Adams wants to roll, has plenty of room, now pulls it down and runs to the sideline, runs out of bounds after getting first down yardage. He'll gain it to the 29, which will be first down and 10 for the Cougars. Adams really had 3 receivers on the near sideline, wanted to find one of them open, but never did see someone he trusted to be open for sure.
And that's the thing about man coverage. If everybody's covered and things don't look as good as you want them to, that means that there is going to be a running lane, and Adams has plenty of speed, got that first down.
So 2 receivers to the top side, 1 to the near side. Now motion to the near side. Adams wants to throw. Short drop, has a blitzing linebacker come after him. Throws over the top, has a man, and he overthrows him. That's Alcorta, his running back, who had gone in motion to the near sideline, then just went up the sideline. And as he chased the ball, it was too far beyond his hands, and it's second down and 10.
A little backyard football there. I mean, that's what you do. You get around, start moving around when you have the speed, and make yourself a problem, and almost dropped it in.
Adams wants to hand it off, fakes the handoff, then throws it far side. Breaking a tackle and going up the field is Eli Adams, his brother. A gain of about 8, maybe 9 yards. They'll spot it. Oh, they're walking back. Holding the call against the Cougars, so the play is nullified. Instead of third and a short, it's now second and long.
And on that little bubble screen, just trying to open up some space, but you can't have your hands above, and you can't have your hands up in the shoulder pads, have to have them below and kind of push the man forward. So now it turns into a very long second down.
Second and long, just so you know, Deuce Adams, who is the quarterback, and Eli Adams, his brother, are their father is Mike Adams, who is the pass game coordinator at Canyon, but he's not here tonight, being inducted into the UT Hall of Honor tomorrow. We'll talk more about that. Here's Deuce. Throws it near sideline. Good catch made, and running up the sideline is a good-looking play from E.J. Garcia, and he'll get most of the yards back to the original line of scrimmage, so now it'll be third down and 10 instead of second down and 20, so about a 10-yard gain.
And a nice play design there. You send 2 wide receivers straight up the field in streaks and then have a man come right under him in that flat area to gain some of those yards back.
They blitz again. It's picked up except for Adams gets rid of the ball, but no catch made. Nolan was the intended receiver, but it goes short off his hands. And that'll bring up fourth down, and that'll bring out Austin Davidson again to punt. Second time tonight.
Yeah, so Lehman doesn't give up any points on this turnover. They've had two turnovers in the first period and then had the intentional grounding, so it really doesn't count as a turnover, but basically an extra possession that was given. So 3 extra possessions given to Canyon in that first quarter for them to score the 19 points. They start the second quarter off with making a stop.
Davidson in to punt from his own 20. Nice looking kick. And it's fumbled. Who will get on it? And I believe the Cougars did. That's Johnson. Tanner Johnson, who muffed it. Cougars, that looks like it is Owen Gray, a junior defensive back that fell on it. And just like that, another turnover, and the Cougars have the ball inside Lobo territory at the 31.
And 9 times out of 10, that should be a fair catch. And Johnson, knowing his team's down, knowing he has a lot on his shoulders, was trying to make a big play and started moving before he secured the football. And by doing that, he ended up muffing the ball. And, again, this is why there's being a timeout called by Coach Salmon at Lehman, just trying to calm everybody down. Even though it's a 3-possession game, but there's still 3 quarters left to play. And you just made a big stop. You get the ball back. You go down. You potentially score. You really cut into the momentum that's here on homecoming, a lot of energy. But by making that miscue, now you give them in super plus territory, 10 yards away from the red zone, and you potentially put yourself down 4 scores, which is a really tough way to come back from. Doesn't matter how much time is left when you have to start being that precise on the offensive end. So, of course, asking for, rounding his team up right now, wanting to get this big stop. That's what Lehman's looking for. But for Canyon, trying to put an early dagger in early in this second quarter.
And the officials for tonight are from the Austin Football Officials Association, a chapter of the Texas Association of Sports Officials. Our referee is Wayne Elliott. Umpire Darren McDaniel. Tanner King is the head linesman. The line judge is Nick Foreman. The back judge is Julian Alvarez. On the clock is Richard Ray. And the 25-second clock is Todd Lancaster. So 5 officials down on the field, and 2 helping with the clocks. So Cougar ball from the 31. It's 1st and 10. They lead 19-0. 10:27 to go, second quarter. Play clock still at 15 as they snap it. Barry looking long to the end zone, has a man, and over the outstretched hands of Eli Adams, the sophomore. Couldn't have been much more open, but again, he's overthrown. We've seen that a bunch tonight. And the wind is at the back of the quarterback on this one. It might have sailed just a bit.
And that was just a simple double move. Came out, broke towards the outside, and came back to the inside right between the 2 safeties. So you run by 2 safeties, and you're open, just over an overthrow.
Here's Bibbins with the handoff, trying to get outside the left, and runs out of territory as they kept sending bodies his way. He'll get a couple of yards up to the 29, a gain of 2. It's now 3rd down and 8.
And Bibbins is very elusive and didn't necessarily see it on that play for him to get big yards, but to make something out of that play, which could have been a loss, to get past the first defender who was really racing forward, just make it a little bit easier now on 3rd down and 8.
Barry again, 3 receivers on the near side. Adams is in the slot nearest one. He runs a little drag route across the middle. Barry facing pressure, breaks it down, pulls it down, runs, gets a couple of yards, maybe 3 yards. Give him a couple to the 27, and the Cougars are going to try for a field goal. This one would be a new career high, or new season high for Austin Davidson, who's so far kicked one from 34 yards. This one will be from 44 with a wind at his back. Garcia is the holder. Everybody set. Davidson appears to be ready. The snap is good. The hold is down. The kick is up and trying to get there, and it does. And it's good. A new season high for Austin Davidson. Runs our score to 22-0. As we play about 3 minutes, just under 3 minutes into the second quarter, there's timeout on the field on the Cougars Network. Cougars up 22-0, 9:23 to go second quarter, and Mr. Davidson made a field goal of 44 yards.
Yeah, and he's the type of player that comes out early before everyone. 2 weeks ago, he was out. It was 90 degrees outside, and he was the only one out here kicking field goals, and so he takes his craft very seriously, and it paid off there to make it 22-0.
Davidson kicks it off. This one high end-over-end kick will be fielded by Johnson in the end zone. He's going to bring it out. Not much blocking in front of him. The Cougars are all over it. He breaks a tackle, breaks a second tackle, gets up to the 15. Maybe we'll call it the 15, where the Lobos will start 1st and 10. Johnson does just about everything for this team, but he is handicapped because if he's running the ball, no one's blocking. If he's playing defense, he's one of the only guys out on an island, so he's struggling to do anything really efficiently.
Yeah, and that's why, of course, we saw that muffed punt just a bit ago. But, again, timeout called. You get everybody around. You get a stop, and things aren't as bleak. It's just a 3-possession game, and now Lehman looking for their first points of the day.
Still a 3-possession game. Handoff, hit in the backfield. Gain of maybe 1. That is the backup tail. Well, that's Joey. How do you say Joey's last name?
Oh, Joey Mojica.
Is it Mojica?
Yes, sir.
I guess it is. Mojica, the senior, who has 351 yards on the season, gained no gain that time, got back to the original line of scrimmage as he was caught and hit in the backfield. The defensive line now they try to throw a screen pass out to the far sideline intended for Lucas Champion, but thrown badly. It's incomplete. Now it's 3rd down and 10.
And I thought that was a backward pass. It looked like it went behind and didn't get up adjacent to the line of scrimmage, but they give it as a forward pass and an incompletion. And again, right now, you have to expect Tanner Johnson is going to be the man that they're going to be looking for on this play. Really hasn't shaken loose, has the 1 catch already, but he has speed, and now he's by himself, isolated on this left side.
Johnson was actually blocking for Champion on that screen pass. Now a delayed handoff. Mojica gets a couple of yards, gets up to the 19, but he's stood up there, dropped down. The defenders for the Cougars are doing their job mightily tonight.
And Lane Buteau ran up and just stopped the running back. Just stopped him in his tracks. And that was necessary because it was a delayed handoff. You wonder why they're not throwing on 3rd down and long, but it worked if Buteau is not there to make the stop and kind of clean the play up.
This is Long, the punter. His kick is not a good one. We'll actually call it about a 16-yard punt with no return. Cougars will start 1st and 10 from the Lobos 36. This is why you don't punt into the wind, I guess, is the key there, is that one was stopped by whatever wind we still have, probably somewhere. We saw on the app it was about 16, but I think that might be at the airport. Out here at Cougar Stadium, it's 20 to 25 easy.
100% whirling is the forecast right now because that ball was on its way and then was caught and then kind of stopped. So now Canyon in beautiful field position looking to go up 4 scores.
7:54 on the 2nd quarter clock. Adams wants to throw near sideline. Nice pass breakup. Good job that time by the defender. That is Garcia. I'm sorry, not Garcia. That is Eddie Martinez, who's played corner all night long on this near sideline, and that time had a pass breakup.
And he's been picked on here tonight as well. 4 long throws have been going his way, so he's had enough. But, again, that's on a ball which he could kind of come back to. If Nolan's trying to go by him, it might be a different story. So we'll see if the plays start to return to more go routes and more long routes for the wide receivers on this side.
Handoff this time. Bibbins breaks 1 tackle, actually breaks his 2nd tackle, and then gets pushed down from behind. Gave him a game of 4 up to the 32. So now it's 3rd down and 6. The Cougars not doing much on 1st down these last couple of drives, and that is made for some long 3rd downs.
And for Adams here, he can pass, he can throw, and also having Bibbins in the backfield, he becomes an option. On 3rd down and 6, depending on if you're going to go for it, you might have 2 downs, so a lot open.
Adams wants to throw. 2 guys, little stop routes. He throws it to Nolan, complete on the near sideline. Breaks a tackle, then tries to avoid some defenders and gets thrown down inside the 20-yard line. They'll mark him at the 17. The Cougars have another 1st down. Good work on the play by Johnson to catch up to him and bring him down.
And again, going after Martinez on this side. And it's just tough being one-on-one when you have a guy like Nolan who already has a couple touchdowns here today, who is a speedster and who can really get past you. And so when it's a shorter amount right there, it's about to be a timeout for Lehman. But when you have an intermediate type of route where he could maybe break it off and come back to the ball or go past you for a potential touchdown on 3rd down and 6, that's just a tough place to be in, and Nolan made a strong catch to get the 1st down.
Lehman calls another timeout, their 2nd timeout called to the half. We'll keep it here as the Cougars lead at 22-0. A field goal, a safety, a punt return touchdown, and then another field goal after a pass from Bibbins from Barry, and the Cougars lead at 22-0. A couple of Austin Davidson field goals, including a new season best of 44 yards. But the Cougars have dominated this one with a host of turnovers by the Lobos, who struggled all year long. Cougars winning that turnover margin on the season, a +5 coming into the game, and that's obviously going to be much better.
Yeah, they had 6 turnovers the last time they played versus Dripping Springs, 5 in the second half to come back from being down by so many points. They were down 42-17 in the second half to Dripping Springs and tied it up to go into overtime before losing, and that was because of the opportunistic turnovers they forced versus Dripping Springs.
Adams wants to throw, has a near receiver. Actually, that one's knocked down. Looking for Nolan on a little outside in route with a blocker down in front of him, but it goes incomplete and brings up 2nd down and 10 as Adams that time had a defender from the defensive line knock it down. So again, 2 receivers to the far side. He's also got a tight end on that side and 1 receiver down here. Adams calls out the blitzer, hands it to Bibbins, going left, not much room. Does avoid 1 tackler and gets a few yards up inside the 15 to the 13. A gain of 4 makes it 3rd down and 6. And again, lack of yardage on 1st down means another longer 3rd down.
And Bibbins did well there just to get something on 2nd down. He was going left to right, but then finally made himself find a way to go north and south, and that's what makes it 3rd down and 6, another, like you said, longer down.
Adams wants to throw, has pressure behind him, has to sprint out to the near sideline, and then finally throws it, and that one should have been picked off, and it wasn't. It'll be 4th down. But that time the Lobos had a chance for an interception and didn't come up with it. Here comes Austin Davidson for a field goal try.
And despite how bad that Lehman has played, that's a big play because now you're going to give up points. If Davidson makes this field goal, then it's going to be 25, which is going to make it a 4-possession game, which is important as the game kind of moves on. Lehman is going to get the ball in the second half. So if you make that pick, do something with it, get the ball back, do something. Then, again, this game is totally different. So Davidson now for this field goal.
30-yard field goal try from Davidson. No win necessary on this one. It goes straight up and through. His 3rd field goal of the night makes it a 25-0 score midway through the 2nd quarter. We'll have a timeout on the field on the Cougars Network.
Nissan of New Braunfels. Our modern and architecturally impressive building is more like an art gallery than a dealership. With an extravagant showroom floor and customer lounge, with over 500 vehicles in stock, we have the ability to deliver the best savings possible to meet your budget needs. It's our pleasure to serve you in New Braunfels and the surrounding Hill Country communities. Nissan of New Braunfels, you've got to see this place.
Austin Davidson will bring us back. 25-0. Cougars on top of the Lobos. 5:55 to go, 2nd quarter. Davidson will kick off again. Johnson is back deep for the Lobos. Davidson puts his foot into it, and the wind carries it into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. Good decision by Johnson that time not to run it back, and they'll have the ball out near the 25-yard line, 1st and 10.
So if you didn't draft Austin Davidson in fantasy, you should have. He has not missed a field goal here this season, and he does pretty much everything well because an underrated part of special teams was what he did just there, right? Tanner Johnson is a big play type of person, and he kicked it perfectly to stop right at the goal line and roll out. And so he doesn't give him a chance to return. It's obvious that Canyon is not trying to kick to Johnson because they've had a couple short kicks here. They got one back on a short kick. And so Davison doing his job all the way around and kickoffs in on the field goal here today.
Hand off. Not much there, a couple yards.
And for Lehman now, 5:42 to play, and we're here in the first half. But they get the ball to begin the second half. So all could be well if you get a score here, you run things down, get a stop. And so, again, a lot of time still out in front of the Lobos. Do have to get cooking, though, at this point in time.
Richardson. Mojica beside him. Two receivers either way. Deep drop. Looking to throw it to the far sideline. Coming back for the ball, and a good catch made. That is Johnson. He threw the ball from beyond the 20. So a 40-yard pass will pick up about 13 yards, and Johnson really had to come back hard to get to that one.
Yeah, because that's not a throw from the left hash all the way across the field to the far hash, and that's why Johnson had to race all the way back for it. But he also has 30 receptions to lead all receivers here, so he can pretty much do anything he needs to do when it comes to catching the football.
Motion from Johnson from far side to near. They'll hand. Mojica has some room, but not a whole lot. It looked like there were more room than he ended up with. He ends up getting about a yard to the 39. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
Legal formation is going to make it 1st down and long. And, again, that's the thing about penalties, right? You start to do a couple things well. You get some yards on 1st down. You get a 1st down that you haven't done very much here today, and then it kind of stops whatever you're kind of starting. And now you're getting behind the chains, and you struggle to throw the ball all game. So we will see what the Lobos have on 1st down and 15.
So 1st and 15 from the 33 now. Two receivers either way. Richardson takes the snap, bobbles the snap, gets a good bounce. Now looks near sideline and gets actually just clobbered by Garrett Thiele, and that goes incomplete, but other defenders were chasing after it in case it was a punt. Masters thought maybe he'd have a touchdown out of it, but it's incomplete.
And after all that, you got to talk about the composure of Richardson, right? Because after all we've seen today with the ball going back into the end zone, fumbles and things of that nature, he showed composure there. Even though he got hit hard and the ball was thrown forward, he was trying to get the ball forward. He picked it up and tried to make a play. Now it's 2nd down and long still.
Not looking for his backup to come in. Jet sweep fake. This is Johnson at the quarterback position, and he's running nonstop up the middle of the field on the far hash and gets 1st down yardage as Cougars unable to tackle him until he gets across midfield. That time Johnson, I don't know if I'll call it the Wildcat since he's the backup quarterback, and maybe he'll play more quarterback from this point forward, but made a nice run straight up the right side of the offensive line. Yeah,
19 yards, the biggest play of the day up to this point, and it's because of who's the one carrying the ball. And so you have to expect more of that, like you said, because that's really been the only big offense on the day.
Maybe he's not able to pass, but here's a good run up the middle. I think that's Mojica. And that is nearly a 1st down. I think they are going to call it. Well, they're going to say it's about 8 yards to the 39 of Canyon. This is their first real offensive possession where they've had a couple of plays that have been positive. They're up to the Cougars 39.
Well, this is the first time they've been in Cougars territory all game. And so now, what do they have to say as this drive kind of moves on? And is it their 3rd timeout about to be taken?
They're going to call a timeout. 3:15 to go, 2nd quarter. We'll keep this one here. Not real sure. Coach Salmon has been there. This is 4th year. They're 1-5, 1-2 on the at home, 0-3 on the road. District play, they're 0-3. Not really expecting to go anywhere. We're more than halfway through the season. They're not going anywhere. I'm debating whether this is just a serious coaching point or whether they need to be coached to understand what they're doing, because this team seems to be, and I don't want to sound harsh, but this seems to be unprepared in so many facets of the game.
And at this point in time, it seems like they, in regards to scheme, what they're trying to do, because right now this has been the best part of their offense on the day, which has been running downhill. And so if this is what you've seen the best of, you had Johnson get downhill. You just got 8 yards on 1st down going downhill. That's what you need to see more of. The throws haven't really been helpful up to this point.
Jet sweep to Johnson, reversing it. Here comes, and not very. That is Eddie Martinez, but I think Johnson would have been better off to keep it instead of he pitches it to Eddie Martinez and he gets a short gain.
And that's the thing, right? Trying to make things more difficult than they need to be. If you run downhill, run right at the Cougars, force them to bring more men in the box, and then start to open up your passing lanes. Then it makes it easier for everyone on the offensive end. But now, as you start to do more things, it forces everyone to do more, and now it's 3rd down and short.
And you called a timeout to lose a yard on a double reverse, in essence. Richardson throws it, has an open man. That's the freshman, Kaufman. Kaufman, and he's got a 1st down yardage inside the 30-yard line on a nice dart of a pass by Richardson that time. In between a couple of defenders, the completed pass is good for a 1st down.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. That is a tough, tight window throw when you need it. And that just shows me that the team has the ability to do it. Just put them in the position with the right plays, make it easier for them by opening things up, by making things more difficult for Canyon when it comes to their defense, by just rushing right at them, really forcing them to do more, and then things are going to open up for you. And then you get a face mask penalty on the back end. Now you're in the red zone.
Here we are again, Richardson. And that's the backup quarterback, Sestatia. He'll get a couple of yards inside the 15 to the 13, so it'll be 2nd down and 8. And now there's an injured player on the field. It's a Cougar, so we'll take a timeout with 1:56 to go in the 2nd quarter. Cougars up 25-zip. We're back after this timeout on the Cougars Network.
Nissan of New Braunfels. Our modern and architecturally impressive building is more like an art gallery than a dealership. With an extravagant showroom floor and customer lounge, with over 500 vehicles in stock, we have the ability to deliver the best savings possible to meet your budget needs. It's our pleasure to serve you in New Braunfels and the surrounding Hill Country communities. Nissan of New Braunfels, you've got to see this place.
There's 1:56 to go in the 1st half. 2nd quarter action from Cougar Stadium. The Cougars lead the Lobos of Lehman High 25-0. Lobos, with their first real offensive threat of the night, have driven the ball down inside Cougar territory. Now at the 11, it's 2nd down and about 6. This is a handoff to Espinoza. Did the ball come out?
It did.
And the Cougars have it.
Wow.
The H-back, Espinoza, with a carry, coming near sideline, had a little bit of room, probably was going to pick up 3 or 4 yards, but he fumbled it, and the Cougars picked it up.
And those are the toughest ones to swallow if you're Coach Salmon and Lehman, because you finally find yourself in a space where you can make an imprint on the game, and you turn the ball over not only in plus territory but inside the 10-yard line, and you had a chance to take a bite into the lead and then get the ball back. Now you just have to force yourself to make sure you get into halftime with the score not changing.
James Sobrevilla had the recovery. Handoff near side. And the offensive line helping the running back keep going, and I think they got 1st down yardage past the 15. Offensive line helping out. Bibbins, he took the handoff there, but he'll come to the sideline after that lengthy run of about 12 yards.
And now you spread them 5 wide, and you expect with man coverage for them to go after Martinez here on this near side.
Give it to Nolan, and he's tackled on the spot. A gain of about 5, and a timeout called by Canyon. 1:05 to go. We'll keep this one here as we expect more timeouts if they continue to march the ball. You mentioned Adams and maybe trying to make a big throw. This time he just checks down quick. I don't even know if he checked down. I think that's where he wanted to throw it right away. Maybe throw a chunk pass first and go long on 2nd down. What's your thinking there?
The thing about it is everything is in front of you and you have 2 timeouts. And so you are playing cat and mouse with the corners on either side. because if they're going to play soft, which you don't want anything to go above you, well, you're just going to get 8 yards, 9 yards, get your first down, stop the clock, not have to use a timeout, and you'll just march down the field that way. And as they start to kind of inch a little bit forward, that's when you call your shot, allow for the wide receiver to make his move off the line, and then get past the cornerback. So everything is in the hands of Canyon right now until Lehman starts to move a little bit forward and push those cornerbacks up a little bit more. But if you can get 8 yards of play with a minute left, you're going to get down the field in plenty of time, especially in high school when everything stops on every first down.
So 2nd down and 5 from the 23. Motion, Barry looking, near sideline. Nolan again. Just another out route this time. This one goes incomplete on a pass beyond his reach. So now it's 3rd down and 5. Again, just nickel and diming him to start with.
And what that's going to set up is you get down to that 40, get down to that 50, you're still running those outs. You're going to run an out and up, and you're going to get right by the cornerback who's going to bite on the out and then get beat for a potential touchdown. So
2 receivers either way. Barry's going to hand it off. That's Alcorta, the junior backup. He gets a first down, but maybe we're just trying to see here that we're being polite and not trying to run up the score. That's what I'm guessing right now, as the Cougars call another timeout. So Cougars up 25-0. I think the referee indicated this would be a short one, so I won't try to take a break here. It's 1st and 10 on the run by Alcorta. Again, my guess is Travis Bush is just being kind here, not trying to run up the score by throwing another pass over the top, but I'm still going to be shocked if we don't try one.
Oh, you'll see, because like I said, with 55 seconds, and if you're getting 7 yards of play, then you're just really allowing for them not to have any time if you do get down the field to get a chance to get in the field goal range or anything that you kind of want. You just want to get points out of the possession, and you have plenty of time to do that and still have that one timeout. So the entire field is open. The opposing coaches know that, so they're calling the plays accordingly. But as they start to move down and start to move those cornerbacks up, you'll see what the Canyon Cougars want to do.
So 2 receivers far sideline. Barry's still the quarterback. Short drop. Has time. Wants to throw. Long pass. There's Adams on the run across the middle. Touchdown, Cougars. Eli Adams, another touchdown. His first of the night, but his 4th of the season. And the sophomore receiver that time just ran by everybody as he started on the far side and ran a post pattern that just, again, ran by everybody. And the good throw by Barry is a good touchdown for the Cougars.
And the key there was safety help was on the inside receiver on the left side of the field. He was looking at him. It was basically double coverage because that's where Kane had been going when they've been throwing the deep balls earlier in the game. So then you see that as a coach, you go to the outside of the field, run a double move where there's no safety help in the middle. You force the man to go outside and then break back to the middle. Adams wide open, perfect pass by Barry, and now you have a touchdown that you were looking for.
So the touchdown pass of 60 yards makes it 32-0 after the Davidson extra point. There's timeout on the field on the Cougars Network. So still 43 seconds to go in the second quarter and what has to be one of the longer first halves we've seen in a while. This one just keeps going. Canyon's up 32-0. The extra point by Austin Davidson was, of course, good. Now Davidson to handle the kickoff chores. Johnson is deep for the Lobos as the wind knocks the football off the tee for the first time tonight. That's almost a surprise that we haven't had that issue more. Davidson gets the whistle. Play clock resumes. And we'll have what amounts to be another ball off the tee, so someone will have to come up and hold it. Again, we've played over an hour, and that hasn't happened yet. And I'm almost shocked that it's happened twice now in the last 15 seconds. Davidson's kick will carry to Johnson on the goal line. He'll bring it out. Has a little more room than some of the, not too much. He avoids one tackler, then gets tripped up and gets across the 20 to about the, what will they mark him at, the 21. That's where the Lobos will start 1st and 10.
And so now if you're Lehman,
let the clock run out.
Sitting on the ball would be potentially the best idea, especially since there have been some trouble with the snap earlier in the game. But also, you want to try something. You have a big play player in Johnson, but when anyone else has touched the ball, it's kind of been some trouble. So they're set up to run an offensive play here with 36 seconds left.
They'll hand it off. That's Sestatia.
And then a flag comes in on the backside,
yeah,
so potentially holding
would be the guess. Sestata kind of got shook up on the play as he comes up kind of limping. Face mask is against the defense. Wow, so that'll be 15 yards. They'll get up beyond the 35 with 29 seconds to go. Still not the amount of time I think they'll need to sustain a drive. But you might see something thrown over the top. I just don't know if Richardson has enough time. Is Johnson in at quarterback? Johnson sends some motion, and Johnson will run it himself. Tries to go far side. Gets a block. Gets to the sideline where he's dragged out of bounds. Stopping the clock again with 10 seconds to go. First down yardage. Well, no, it's not. Gain of 8 makes it 2nd down and 2. Again out of bounds, so the clock is stopped. Play comes in from the sideline. Johnson again goes back to receiver. Richardson comes in to play quarterback. I don't know if I wouldn't just Jalen Hurts it here and just let Johnson run the ball every time with blockers in front of him. They're going to throw to Johnson. Oh, well, he checked down, throws it to Espinoza on the far sideline, gets first down yardage with 3 seconds to go. Johnson streaked up the far sideline. I thought they might try to throw over the top to him.
And I was thinking the same thing in regards to just having Tanner Johnson run more of the quarterback position in the second half, where you should see more wildcat runs or wildcat throws or something just with him involved, because when he's been involved, the offense has had life. When he has not been involved and he hasn't touched the football, they really haven't had life. So we'll see what they do here on this last play.
Richardson wants to throw, and that one's incomplete, and that'll be the end of the half. The Cougars lead it 32-0 as we're done with the first half. And the Lobos will receive the second half kickoff, but not before halftime. Cougars up 32-0 on the Cougars Network.
In August 2021, the Comal ISD Board of Trustees approved an election package that included both a VA-TRE and a bond package. These elections will be presented together on the ballot as 5 propositions. Proposition A is the VA-TRE, which is a voter-approved tax ratification election required by the state legislature to ask voters to approve a modified tax rate. With voter approval in November, the VA-TRE will provide teachers and staff with a 3% pay increase and auxiliary personnel and paraprofessionals with a $1.50 hourly pay increase in 2021. The bond package begins with Proposition B, which will include funding for 4 new campuses to address growth throughout the district. Elementary number 19 will be located off of Highway 46 South and will provide relief for Clear Spring and Freiheit Elementaries. Elementary number 20 will be located across from Danville Middle School and will provide relief for Garden Ridge and Morningside Elementaries. Middle School number 8 will be located south of FM 1863 and Highway 281 and will provide relief for Piper Ranch Middle School. Finally, a new campus will be built for Hill Country College Preparatory High School to support additional student enrollment and to expand the programs offered. Beyond the construction of new schools, Proposition B will fund several infrastructure and reinvestment projects at existing campuses, including new playgrounds, safety and security projects, and the purchase of land and 85 new buses. Proposition C will fund athletic facility improvements throughout the district to maintain the district standard. Some projects include a new field house and golf practice facility at Smithson Valley and Canyon High Schools, football field regrading for Mountain Valley Middle School, and a field house and tennis court facility included in Phase 2 for Davenport High School. Proposition D will fund a stadium capacity expansion, a new press box and ticketing for Canyon Lake High School, and stadium capacity expansion and a new press box included in Phase 2 for Davenport High School. Proposition E will fund instructional technology to replace outdated student and teacher computers and for network security improvements. The VA TRE and bond package are being presented as 5 propositions due to recent changes in state law brought on by Senate Bill 30. Perhaps the biggest question some have when an election is being called is, how will this affect my taxes? If the VA TRE is approved by voters in November, the tax rate for 2021 would increase by less than 2 cents. For Bond 2021, although state law requires that the ballot language state this is a property tax increase, this bond package with Propositions B, C, D, and E will not have an impact on the current total tax rate. Early voting will begin October 18th and end October 29th, with Election Day set for November 2nd. Find more information about the VA TRE and Bond 2021 elections by visiting our website at www.comalisd.org.
It's football time in Texas. What could be better? A new Honda from Honda San Marcos, that's what. Because every new Honda we sell comes with our free lifetime warranty. Online at HondaSanMarcos.com.
Honda San Marcos.
Welcome to Slide Talk. I'm Andrew Kim, Superintendent of Schools for the Comal Independent School District. Joining me today is our CFO, Crystal Hermish, to talk about our voter-approved tax ratification election coming up in November the 2nd. So, Crystal, explain to me in very simple terms, what is a voter-approved tax ratification election?
So a TRE is required by the legislature anytime you want to raise your tax rate above the minimum tax rate.
Okay, so the increased tax rate would only affect the operating budget that we use to pay our teachers and staff. I hear that we actually have the lowest pay for teachers and staff in the area. Is this true?
This is true. Our first-year teachers, as well as our 15-year teachers, have the lowest pay compared to other districts in this area. Additionally, our bus drivers, custodians, and paraprofessionals are among the lowest paid. Over the last 10 to 15 years, employees received a 2 to 3% pay increase. but other years the district relied on one-time bonuses for employees. So our compensation did not increase at the same rate as other districts in the area.
I see. So how are we going to fix this so we can keep bringing in great teachers to our school district while also keeping all of our teachers and staff here for our kids?
With approval of the VATRE, we are proposing our teachers and professional staff receive a 3% increase this year, and our auxiliary staff, such as bus drivers, custodians, and others, will receive a $1.50 per hour increase.
So with all the growth around here with students, we're adding 1,000 kids a year. As a result of that, more kids means more revenue. Shouldn't that be enough to pay our staff and teachers in a raise per year within our regular budget?
So the new funds generated by new students in the district is enough for us to hire the new teachers for those new students and to operate our schools, but it's not really generating enough revenue to also offer compensation.
I see. So it's one or the other.
Correct. That's the decision the district's been faced with lately.
Now, what I don't understand though is then as property values go up, because what I get asked a lot at the local grocery store is that, hey, you have a lot of new property now and you must have a lot of money, but what I'm hearing is that that's not the case.
No, that isn't the case. In fact, part of House Bill 3 that was passed in 2019 compresses the district's tax rate as those property values go up. So as values grow up in the district, the rate decreases and somewhat puts the district on a fixed income.
So you're telling me that the legislature basically has said that if you need more money to operate, especially for us because we have more staff, we have more teachers, we have to pay them better. If we want to do that, we have to ask the voters for an election to do that. And that's why we're here talking about a voter-approved TRE.
Correct. Voters are essentially being asked to approve a 1.63 cent increase on the tax rate over the prior year's tax rate.
So now what also concerns me, once we propose to pass this Proposition A, TRE, does that mean that the tax rate will continue to go ahead and stay high or keep on going up, or how does that work?
So even with this TRE, it's a one-time increase. We'll still maintain that somewhat fixed revenue, and in order to do that, the tax rate will continue to go down.
Well, I really appreciate you joining me today. Appreciate all the work that you're doing. I do want to remind everybody, as part of the slide talk, that early voting begins on October the 18th and will proceed through October 29th, with Election Day on November the 2nd. Please make sure that you have updated your voter registration cards. If you haven't done so, you have until October the 4th. Once again, thank you for joining the slide talk with me today about VATRE. Bob, welcome back. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
You're my first Comal Cruising back from the pandemic.
All right.
Yeah, so welcome. And what a great topic to start off our new series of Comal Cruising, but to talk about growth and the growth in our area when it comes to construction, housing market, and you name it, student enrollment. But Bob, just to kind of get all of our constituents out there and those who are watching this, it's probably maybe a couple people, by the way, who knows. But Bob, what do you do for our school district? And yeah, why don't you explain to our viewers out there what you do?
Sure. Well, Templeton Demographics is a consulting firm, and we specialize in helping fast growth school districts by doing very detailed housing research, and we turn that housing research into enrollment projections so that we can help the school district plan when and where to build schools so they can understand how fast their enrollment is going to be growing.
Well, I'll tell you what, certainly when this past year, the pandemic year, COVID year, I guess, whatever we're calling that, I was quite frank with you. I think we talked about this. I thought we're going to have a pause. We're going to have a sort of a pause in growth of enrollment of students, so I was worried about that in some sense, but maybe in some sense I thought that we'll get a little break, a year's worth of break of not having increased enrollment so that we can kind of maybe catch up to some degree. But unfortunately or fortunately, that's not the case.
That's true, and it was a very unusual year in so many ways. In fact, a year ago, we thought that the housing market could slow because of concerns with the economy.
That was 2019-2020 school year.
Yes, and so...
Or 2020-2021 school year, I should say.
Yes, and all the signs were, when you looked at the unemployment rate shot up over 13%.
Right.
And normally, we would see a slowdown in housing.
Right.
But not this time. We actually saw the opposite. We saw an increase in housing activity during the past year.
Which during the pandemic year?
During the pandemic year.
Yeah, what do you attribute that to, Bob? I mean, just out of, I don't know, it seems kind of contrary to what was happening other places, perhaps, in the country and our state, maybe.
There's a couple of factors that probably helped facilitate that. And one of those was with we did see an increase in virtual learning. Well, we saw a big increase in remote work.
Sure.
So a lot of families were able to kind of pivot, and that might have been in apartments were thinking, wow, I need to get into a house with more space. And so we did see a real movement that happened from those younger families to get into housing. Also, the affordability at the time was good. The interest rates were low.
Right. Not anymore, but...
The interest rates are still okay, but the cost has gone up due primarily to the inflation on materials and labor.
You also attribute the migration of those from outside the state coming to Texas, specifically around here, of course, Central Texas, Hill Country, Comal ISD. We see on the ground, talking with our principals as they enroll new parents, new students into our schools, majority of them, a good number of them are coming from places like California and other places.
That's so true. Texas has had a really good year in terms of corporate relocations, and especially tech jobs in the Austin area. And the Comal School District is close enough to Austin that some of the families that live in Comal are likely working in Austin. They're also working in San Antonio. And so the big boom has been Austin has been the focal point for Texas, with the Tesla, Oracle, Samsung expansions. And, it's just really putting the bullseye on Central Texas.
Yeah. Well, so what's your outlook here, looking at the crystal ball that you do look at, for the upcoming year, which is the 21-22 school year?
Well,
post-pandemic year, of course.
Yes. It's interesting because for the last 5 years, every year has been a record-breaking year for new home construction.
Right.
5 years ago, we were doing, 1,600 homes a year.
Right.
We're now going to be doing 2,800 homes for this year. And it's possible that we could be seeing more than 3,000 homes per year within the not too distant future. So 2021-22, that school year will be another record-breaking year for new home construction. And then we're going to have a record-breaking year for enrollment growth.
The old adage about availability of water, infrastructure, you're talking about these are homes that are already ready to go with all of that stuff ready to go.
That's true. These are subdivisions and communities that have already been platted and permitted, and they're active.
Yeah.
And so you've got about 2,800 vacant developed lots that are on the ground ready for builders to build on today.
Yeah.
There's another 2,800 lots that are in development that will be delivered within the next, say, 6 to 10 months. And those lots have already been gone through the infrastructure pipeline, so the utilities are available for those that are already in development.
As we're cruising around Comal ISD here, obviously this is the series that we're relaunching here. The construction and the traffic issues, a lot of density of home development, especially in this area that we're going to be driving through right here. Where are these folks migrating from? Is it still going to keep on, pretty robust here for the next few years? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, there is still a migration coming from California. In fact, I live in the Marble Falls area, and I've met 2 new neighbors that have recently moved from California.
I have many.
And it is the relocation of jobs, it's the cost of living in Texas, and it's a multiple of factors that are causing the migration. We're also seeing it from the Northeast, the Chicago area,
the
Midwest, and so Texas is just it's still the fastest growing state in the country. We'll see that again when the 2020 census is released, that Texas will be the fastest growing state again.
The comparison of our school district, who's also, I figure, as we talked about in the past, we're probably in the top 5, if not in the top 3 fastest growing in the state of Texas, I would think.
That's true. And, we work primarily with fast growth districts. The closest one that has similar housing and similar geography would be the Denton School District.
Is that right?
They're pretty big, but they're not as big geographically as you are.
They're not. We're 589 square miles there, Bob.
That's right. And you've got growth in multiple areas. So it almost feels like you're the equivalent of 4 school districts.
It does feel like that. I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to be sorry in talking about it, but it's like running 4 different types of school district.
Yes.
Here in Comal School District.
You've got the 281 corridor, the Smithson Valley corridor, the I-35 corridor, and the Canyon Lake area. So easily you can kind of geographically see 3. Then Garden Ridge could almost be a 4th area.
Well, and like you said, though, you're right. What we see on the ground is that growth is happening in all those areas you just mentioned. So it's not just in one particular area. It's all over the place.
That's right.
And that makes it really more complex. Have you ever seen something like that in your career?
No, you're pretty unique. Like I said, the closest one is Denton. Now, Prosper is building as many homes, but they're not as big geographically.
They're not.
They will run through their building cycle in about 8 to 10 years.
Is that right?
You're going to be growing for 25 years or more. There's that much land here. And when we look at some of the future developments that we're watching, these are big, massive master plan developments that are in the works.
Yeah, the demand seems to be there, meaning the buyers. Certainly parents with kids, young kids who are looking for, hopefully, what they would consider us to be a great school district to invest a large dollar amount of money to buy a home these days compared to my first starter home back in the day. And so I think that has a lot of things, but you're right. I think the supply chain issue, construction prices are going up quite a bit right now.
That's true. The lower the price point, typically the younger the family. So we see more elementary kids from those homes that are priced below $250,000. That's actually maybe moving up to $300,000.
I know. It's hard to find a price point of that low nowadays.
It is. So then when you get above $450,000 and you get into $450,000, $600,000 range, we tend to see middle school age kids. And some high school.
And I think one of the things I talk about with our school board as well as our taxpayers out there is that we are not trying to build, if we're only growing at the high school level, I don't think we need to go ahead and build, let's say, new schools, because they're going to age themselves out. But what we're seeing right now, I think the information that you provided us over the years, is that we're growing elementary students.
That's true, yes. Well, the enrollment growth is looking like it could be at about 1,500 to 1,800.
You got to be kidding me.
Additional students, yes.
Because we typically hover around 900 to 1,000 kids from a year changeover, Bob. So you're now saying somewhere around that number, which is actually a little scary to me. I'm serious.
1,500 to 1,800.
Is that right?
Yes.
Are you really saying that?
I'm saying that.
Wow.
And it's partially the COVID return.
Yeah.
Because we did, even though you did grow at a good number, you still had some families that
absolutely
didn't participate at those younger grade levels. I'm talking pre-K kindergarten.
Absolutely.
So there's going to be a surge of pre-K kindergarten plus this increase in housing growth that's going to push that growth rate to about 1,500.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, Bob. For the first one coming back to come out cruising, I know for some of our viewers it may not be as significant, but when you say 1,500 to 1,800 numbers of new students coming to our school district starting in August of 2021 here, I'm a little bit I'm going to need to take a long vacation here.
Well, and you probably will be one of the fastest growing school districts in the state.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to need to go ahead and come back in sometime around September to see how these numbers pan out. But if construction and developments around here shows anything, I tend to agree with you now about that number. So we'll see how it goes.
We'll see.
Yeah. Well, Bob, thanks for joining.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you,
Yes.
and you're the first one back
All
to the
right.
Comal Cruising.
That's great.
So, all right.
I enjoyed it.
Appreciate it very much, Bob.
You're welcome.
Nissan of New Braunfels. Our modern and architecturally impressive building is more like an art gallery than a dealership. With an extravagant showroom floor and customer lounge, with over 500 vehicles in stock, we have the ability to deliver the best savings possible to meet your budget needs. It's our pleasure to serve you in New Braunfels and the surrounding Hill Country communities. Nissan of New Braunfels, you've got to see this place.
in and outside of school. Ladies and gentlemen, Kinsley Marine. Our next senior court member, Robbie Lopez. His mother, Mrs. Jessica Lopez, and little brother Ryan will be escorting him today. Robbie is involved in NHS, varsity baseball, and FCA. Mrs. Morris is the educator he admires most because she represents amazing strength, greatness, love, and loyalty. Thank you, Mrs. Morris, for your guidance. Ladies and gentlemen, Robbie Lopez. Next to enter is senior Hallie Kelso. She is being escorted by her dad, Mr. Matthew Kelso, mom, Ms. Lisa Kelso, and brother Brent. Hallie is a member of FCA and COSAC. The teacher Hallie admires most is Mrs. Katie because she has always been there to encourage her, and she is so loving and positive for her to be the best she can be. Ladies and gentlemen, Hallie Kelso. Next on the senior homecoming court is Cameron Biddens, being escorted by his brother, Chris Biddens. Cameron is on Canyon High School varsity football team, as well as involved in track. Cam's favorite teacher is Coach O, because he is always there for him. Ladies and gentlemen, Cameron Biddens. Now entering is senior court member Jordan Caffown. Jordan is being escorted by her sister Paige. Jordan is a member of the Naturalist Club and Book Club. The teacher Jordan admires most is Mrs. Sanchez. She was one of the nicest teachers, and she felt like she really helped her through the years. Ladies and gentlemen, Jordan Caffown. Now entering the field is senior Cade McKay, being escorted by his parents, Allison and John McKay. Cade is the president of COSA and in the CHS orchestra. Cade's favorite teacher is Ms. Booth because she prepares her students for a great future in the medical field. Ladies and gentlemen, Cade McKay. Now entering the field is senior Anaya Jones, being escorted by Anaya, Jacqueline Harvey, and brother Quincy. Anaya is a senior lieutenant of the Canyon Aristocrats dance team. Anaya admires Ms. Goodman most because she has pushed her to become a better dancer where even the simplest change can make the biggest difference. Ladies and gentlemen, Anaya Jones. a member of the senior corps. Wyatt is being escorted by his parents, Clint and Jill West. Wyatt is a member of the varsity baseball team. Wyatt admires Mrs. Sansom the most. She loves her students and wants the very best for all of them. Ladies and gentlemen, Wyatt West. Entering next is senior Bella Mitchell. Bella is being escorted by her parents, Jason and Vanessa Mitchell, and sister Eva. Bella is a 4-year member of the varsity softball team, production theater, National Honor Society, is also a senior class officer, student section leader, pep rally leader, and does the video announcements every Friday. Bella states, I have admired Coach Randall because he has always supported me and is always full of positivity. You're the best, Coach Randall. Ladies and gentlemen, Bella Mitchell. Crowning your high court this evening is the 2020 Homecoming Queen, Ms. Sydney Webster. Sydney is currently attending Texas State University, where she is majoring in nursing. And now for the moment we have all been waiting for. Your 2021 Homecoming King is Cameron Biddens. And your 2021 Homecoming Queen is Kinsley Marini. Cougar Nation, please give a round of applause for the 2021 Canyon High School Homecoming High Court. Thank you to all of the students that participated in this year's homecoming festivities. Congratulations to all of our winners.
It's football time in Texas. What could be better? A new Honda from Honda San Marcos, that's what. Because every new Honda we sell comes with our free lifetime warranty. Online at HondaSanMarcos.com.
Honda San Marcos.
And as we come back to Cougar Stadium, should be some fun second half. 32-0, Cougars on top. James Hadnot alongside myself, Tony Brubaker, bringing you the Cougar action tonight on the Cougars Network. Both teams have made their way back onto the field. Clocks are reset to 12. So we should be ready to start the third quarter momentarily. Our referees from the Austin Football Association are out in their respective areas, or at least making their way to where they're supposed to be. And I think we'll be ready to start this second half. The Cougars will kick off to the Lobos, who have struggled mightily tonight. Don't have any official stats, but I know if I had something unofficial, it would say something around 100 yards of offense for the Lobos, maybe, with penalties, with penalty yardage. The Cougars, I don't know that would be much over 250 because they've had so many short fields by turnovers.
Yeah, 4 turnovers in the first half by Lehman, plus the intentional grounding that turned into a safety. So a lot of what Canyon was doing on the offensive end was because of the mistakes by the Lehman Lobos. They took advantage of it. But the scoreline could be a little bit more ugly because there were 3 field goals that were kicked in the first half. And one was inside the 10, one was a little bit outside, and then there was a 44-yard field goal by Austin Davison, which was his season long. So Lehman counting their blessings right now. They get the ball right now. It's 4 possessions. If you could just get something going, you could hopefully kind of start something on the offensive end and maybe try to stop Canyon on defense and give them a longer field. But first things first, you have to move the ball on offense. And like we mentioned in the first half, if Lehman can start to really run the ball down the throats of Canyon, that's been their best option, running with either their running back or Tanner Johnson.
Austin Gray will come out and hold it for, Owen Gray will hold it for Austin Davidson. Johnson will not field it. It'll go off the hands and just down it. You don't have to come back out. Goodness. Eddie Martinez, a junior wide receiver, had it go off his hands at the goal line, and it went into the end zone. Since it was muffed, he could have downed it there and had the ball at the 25. Instead, he carries it out of the end zone and gets up to, the 3 or the 4? And that's where the Lobos will start first and 10. 3 touchdowns, 3 field goals for the Cougars in the first half, plus that 2-point safety that they got on the intentional grounding. So they'll start, the Lobos will, from their own 2-yard line, first and 10. And for a team that has not scored and really hasn't sniffed much of the end zone and hasn't had a whole lot of offense, this is not the way you want to start the second half. Handoff. Good-looking run.
And that time it's just man-on-man, hat-on-hat blocking. Just try to push everyone as far forward as possible. And a nice run right up the middle by Robert Vasquez to give them some breathing room for the Lobos. And now it's second down and short.
A little bit different offensive set. Not many. Now the left guard just jumped. Joey Mojica, Roger Sesteda were the 2 primary running backs in the first half. Jacob Espinoza also carried it once but fumbled it. Looks like they're just going jumbo line. 1 receiver will break off. That's Richardson, so it's Johnson at quarterback. Fakes a handoff, runs by himself. Left edge, has room across the 20, and finally tackled from behind on a chase down tackle by Rafe Masters. The senior defensive end brings him down at the 29, but not until first down yardage is secured.
And that was the bread and butter in the first half. That was the best offense. It was putting the ball in the hands of your best player and just pushing him downhill, making him the offensive option. And right there, Johnson picks up a big chunk to move the ball to the 29.
Johnson goes out. Richardson back at quarterback. Again, I just remember Jalen Hurts doing that for both Alabama and Oklahoma. Just snap the ball to him and tell him to run. This is a handoff, and this is Espinoza, the senior H-back. Joey Mojica, the senior, who had over 350 yards coming into the game, carried some in the first half. He's coming back on the field right now, but hasn't carried the ball in a while. Not real sure what their offensive tendencies were going to be here in the second half. They got the big run from Johnson. Now second down and 8 from the 31. Quick throw out to the edge. That was a backyards pass and goes out of bounds. That'll be a loss. Back to the 26. Johnson has not come back in, has he? Yeah, he is. He's out there on the far side. I'm sorry. Richardson that time just kind of airmailed it over the top of Martinez again.
And I was just about to mention the same thing. Tanner Johnson is on the sidelines right now, and now on 3rd down and long, where will the offense come from?
Richard Mojica gets a couple of yards, give him a gain of about 4 up to the 29, but it'll be 4th down and they'll be forced to punt.
And that's where once a player like Johnson breaks off a big run, then goes out, you don't see him for the rest of the possession, you start to scratch your head a little bit, because once he touches the ball, something good happens. When he's not in the game, things tend to not go as well. Now they have to punt.
Noah Long is the punter. This one into the wind is not a good punt to start with, but the wind certainly knocked it down. He would have got a 1st down with the punt because it was 12 yards, but that's about all he would have gone. It goes to the 40-yard line. No return as it goes straight out of bounds. And that's where the Cougars will start 1st and 10 as they try to add to their 32-0 lead. Yes, it's getting ugly. The good thing was that drive took over 3 minutes. The bad thing for the Lobos is they just don't have an answer other than Tanner Johnson to do anything efficiently on offense, and they won't give him the ball enough. Here's Bibbins, the homecoming king, crowned homecoming king in ceremonies at halftime, gets a nice run on the left edge and runs out of bounds after about a 7 or 8 yard gain. 8-yard gain at 2nd and 2, chased out of bounds. Going back to Johnson, I mean, what would it hurt you just to run the Johnson Wildcat and just go right and left and see how many yards he can get? I don't understand. Here's Bibbins up the middle, has a big hole, avoids a couple of tacklers, gets 1st down yardage inside the 25 at the 22. It's 1st and 10 there.
Yeah, and thinking about, of course, the Lobos on offense, he showed that he could throw the ball and warm ups and throw, that he has an arm to kind of make a difference. And so you don't have to necessarily run him every single time, give him something different, give him a different look, but he should touch the ball pretty more often at this point in time.
Adams is in at quarterback. He's rolling to his right, has a guy in the end zone and it's his brother, but he overthrows him. I think he went out of bounds to start with and tried to come back in to make the catch. It's incomplete, and that brings up 2nd down and 10. Again, Deuce Adams, Deuce Adams is the quarterback trying to throw to his brother Eli Adams. They are the sons of Mike Adams, who is the pass game coordinator for the Canyon Cougars, but he's not here tonight because he's being inducted tomorrow into the UT Hall of Honor. He played wide receiver for Texas and also for the Pittsburgh Steelers, missing his 2 sons playing tonight and having fun for the Cougars. Adams hands it off. This is Alcorta. He'll get a couple of yards up to the 19 before he's wrestled down by a whole host of Lobos down at the bottom of that pile. Outside linebacker Ethan Crum. So 3rd and 7.
And the last time Canyon was here at home, going back to their play versus Clark, their only home win on the season was a 41-31 victory, and it was a much different game than this one because of how well they played in the second half.
Adams wants to throw. Everybody's covered up, so he scrambles, avoids a couple of defenders. Now he's on the run, far sideline. He'll get a 1st down before he's chased out of bounds near inside the 10.
And that's just simply being an athlete. He eludes one defender, and then after getting past the second one, turns on the jets to gain the 1st down. And that's something you just can't teach, right? Just go out there, make a play, and that's what was made by Adams.
Chased out of bounds by Nathaniel Perez. Now 1st and goal from the 9. Adams, Alcorta, left side, outside, muscles to the end zone. And it is a touchdown. Jacob Alcorta, his second touchdown of the year. And the Cougars go up 38-0 with the extra point to come.
And just a simple outside run play, right? You get everything blocked up, keep the edge, and give your running back a chance to get to the edge. Once he gets there, he just turned it upfield and scored. So just simply executing on the offensive end.
Davidson's extra point try, of course, is true, so it is 39-0. Third quarter action. Midway through the third quarter, there's a timeout on the field. This is the Cougar Network.
Nissan of New Braunfels. Our modern and architecturally impressive building is more like an art gallery than a dealership. With an extravagant showroom floor and customer lounge, with over 500 vehicles in stock, we have the ability to deliver the best savings possible to meet your budget needs. It's our pleasure to serve you in New Braunfels and the surrounding Hill Country communities. Nissan of New Braunfels, you've got to see this place.
When the leaves begin to fall, unfortunately, seasonal illnesses and the flu bug begin to rise. That's why our board-certified physicians are always close by, ready and willing to handle all of your emergency needs. Visit our beautiful facility today, located at 1860 South Seguin Avenue, Suite 400, New Braunfels, Texas.
Davidson will kick it off as we're back to Cougar Stadium. Martinez lets it bounce in the end zone. He's learned his lesson, doesn't have to run it back, so it'll be 1st and 10 from the 25 for the Lobos. The Cougars lead it 39-0. Alcorta with the most recent touchdown for the Cougars. The 9-yard variety made it 39-0 after the extra point. Lobos come out. It is Colin Richardson at quarterback. Tanner Johnson does not appear to be on the field, and maybe he won't play anymore tonight, even though we've talked about him being their biggest offensive weapon by far. Richardson keeps it after the play fake, and he'll run for near first down yardage to the 34 before he's brought down by Buto, Lane Buto, and others of this Cougar defense. Defense bouncing around a lot, really excited to keep playing since they're throwing a shutout right now.
And definitely, I mean, they're going to be on the field, and what you see then on the offensive end, what we talked about earlier, is when they are running downhill, they have gotten good yardage. It seems like every single time they run the ball downhill right at the defense, they've gotten good yardage.
Mojica dances. Whoa. A little exchange between Buto and Espinoza. Mojica runs for first down yardage to the 38. The extracurricular play didn't have anything to do with it. I just saw it, so I thought I'd tell you about it.
Definitely on the back end of the play, way behind the play as everything went upfield. But it's first down, and first things first. Got to get a first down on first down, and now still moving forward.
Clock continues to run. This is Sesteta, backup running back. He had one carry coming into the game tonight. He's had several carries so far tonight. Richardson gets the call from the sideline, talks to his offensive line. They fake the handoff. Richardson throws it out to the flat. It's a low throw. It's picked up off the turf. A good catch, picked up short yardage, about 3 yards to the 46. That was Espinoza. Or I'm sorry, Harmer caught it, the tight end. 3rd and short. So they continue to mount a little bit of a drive here. Little delay handoff, but nowhere to go. That is Dan Galindo, senior defensive end, stopped him in his tracks and brings up 4th down.
And just trying to run a little return play where you send the first man through, then bring another man back for the dive behind him as the lead blocker, but just played extremely well. There was pressure right up the middle, and the interior lineman got up to grab the running back, Jacob Espinosa, and Espinosa is now down trying to get off the field.
Espinosa had his leg twisted on the tackle by Galindo as he was going full speed and just got stopped. As I mentioned, Galindo hit him and just dropped him in the slot that he was in, and probably twisted his ankle a little bit when he planted it. The ball girls had run out to the team, but the team ran to the ball girls. So it'll be 4th down, and they're going to go for it, which they should. See what kind of play they draw up. Richardson takes it, hands it off. Power run to someone who hadn't carried the ball tonight. That's Robert Vasquez. And
Robert Vasquez on the carry, first Cougar in on the tackle.
They're going to give him a 1st down as he mark him clear up to the 49. They needed the 48 for a 1st down.
Pick up a 4. That'll be a 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line.
Richardson. And in the backfield. It was like Wyatt Harrell knew who was going to get it, and he was standing there the minute he took the handoff and just dropped him right there. A loss of 3 back to the 46.
And the thing about plays now is when you have that jumbo formation, now Canyon knows the only thing that could potentially happen is most likely going to be a run. You're not going to run a max protect. You're not going to be trying to throw the ball down the field because you have not been able to push the ball down the field all game. So at this point in time now, these linemen, these linebackers, they know what they're doing. They're kind of shooting upfield, and they're trying to get these tackles for loss.
So they spread out 2 receivers to the far side. Richard wants to throw. He's got a man in the slot, and it's a completed pass. That'll take it from 2nd and long to 3rd and about medium up to the 46 of the Cougars.
And now you're doing something different, right? You're gonna have the jumbo formation, have the tight formation. Then a quick throw is as good as a run. You have everybody coming upfield in the middle. You throw to the outside because that's where your numbers advantage is. And so plays and kind of putting things together right now, just trying to get on the board and kind of get some semblance of an offense. Lehman is doing that right now.
Richardson on 3rd and long tries to throw it again. This one's knocked down. Is it? Knocked down by the defensive line. Incomplete, correct?
A handoff on the right side. It looked like he kind of faked the throw.
He faked the throw and handed it off. I thought he faked the handoff, but he did hand it off. Not much of a gain. So it's 4th down again for the Lobos. They've got about 4th and 7. And they'll go for it again with the game clock going near 2 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. Vasquez next to Richardson. Are they going to call a timeout? That looks to be the case. With timeout on the field, 2:01 to go in the 3rd quarter. The Cougars up 39-0. This is the Cougar Network. Travis Bush's Cougars are up 39-0. 2:01 to go 3rd quarter. The Lobos of Lehman High trying for their 2nd win on the season and unlikely to get it. will go for their second fourth down play in a row. Vasquez, the running back near Richardson, the quarterback, who has 3 receivers to the left and 1 to the right. The quarterback looking left, has to scramble, pressure in him, almost got the ball taken away, tries to run now for the first down, does a good job of being physical before he's chopped down just short of the first down yardage. I think they'll mark him about the 42, needs to get to the 41 for a first down, so it'll turn it over on downs, and Canyon will get the ball back.
And what effort on a play like that at this point of the game, right, where things are looking bleak for you as a team. You're giving up on your body as the quarterback. You're running through tackles, doing as much as you can to try to gain that first down, and that shows the heart that this team is playing with, even with the scoreline sitting where it is.
So the Cougars have the ball back, looking for win number 3 on the season, trying to improve to 2-2 in district play, lead at 39-0. Closing minutes of the third quarter. Drew Berry takes it, wants to throw to the edge. That's Nolan again, and knocked out of his hands again. This time it is the other cornerback, Noah Long, the sophomore who's also the punter, knocked that one away.
And that's where those tough throws are, right? That's on the far hash. You're trying to throw the ball all the way across the field. He put it in a good spot, but Long did a good job of just racing through it. And if that ball snapped a little bit quicker than the catch can be made by Nolan, but just a good play all the way around.
Bibbins takes the handoff, goes off tackle left side, gets a nice run before he's tripped up across midfield. They'll spot him right at midfield. Gain of about 8. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
And that was a gaping hole that was well blocked, as you have the kick out block to push the man outside to then open up the inside for the run, and Bibbins hit it very easily, but you could have drove a truck through there, so great job by the offensive line.
Bibbins again gets tracked down in the backfield. Good defensive play that time. That's the other Vasquez, Jacob Vasquez.
So now a stop after, you have a good running play.
4th down, will they punt? They look like they will.
Yeah, a good running play, right? But then on the next, trying to pretty much go back to the same play and try to open up the same spot, racing through a gap and making the tackle was Vasquez. So, again, still playing hard even at this point in time in the game.
So Austin Davidson in to punt with the wind at his back. Gives a high booming kick. That one will probably bounce into the end zone, and it does. Not exactly what he wanted. We do have an injured player. 50-yard punt, no return. A Lobo down on the field right near the CC in the center part of the field. So with timeout on the field, this is the Cougar Network.
It's football time in Texas. What could be better? A new Honda from Honda San Marcos, that's what. Because every new Honda we sell comes with our free lifetime warranty. Online at HondaSanMarcos.com.
Honda San Marcos.
There are 30 seconds left in the third quarter. Cougars up 39-0 as they move 1st and 10 for the Lobos after the punt. Lobos with Richardson at quarterback. They'll send 2 receivers to the far side. Our umpire continues to stand over the ball, not real sure what the delay was, but now we're ready to go. Richardson with Vasquez behind him, I believe. He takes the handoff. No, that's another running back. That is, tell me it's not 29.
Oh, no, sir. Mark Delau.
Oh, it's 26. Okay. Thought I saw a 29 on the front of his jersey, but yes. Dumlau will take the handoff and get a couple of yards up to the 22. They send another signal in from the sideline. Everybody looks at their wristband to get on the same page. And that's the end of the quarter. 39-0. The Cougars on top. That's the end of the third quarter. We'll take a timeout. This is the Cougar Network. And as we're back to Cougar Stadium, it's 2nd down and 8 for the Lobos of Lehman High. Cougar defenders. Cougars able to put in a lot of different players on defense tonight with the big lead. Richardson takes the snap. Not much room for the running back because the defensive line really didn't give him anything. In fact, he might have lost a yard back to the 21. Demlau comes out as the tailback. As it's 3rd and 9. Richardson has a receiver, broke way down on the numbers on the near sideline.
And a timeout called by the Lobos as you come out of the quarter break and still trying to kind of configure things. And that's kind of been a microcosm of how things have been kind of difficult for them at this point in the time in the game. And at this point, it's all repetition. It's still a part of the game. And as we mentioned earlier, even on the 4th down, how Colin Richardson kind of ran up the field and still played with a high motor. And that's what you want to see, especially at this point in the game, right? What type of team are you going to have as the season kind of goes on?
I'm guessing the offensive coaches are a little frustrated that they haven't had any more success. You know, you probably didn't think Canyon was all that. You knew they were good, but not all that good. And they've had very little success in most of what they've called tonight. And on 3rd and 10, basically, they called a timeout to reinforce something. So we're back after the brief timeout. Richardson has, again, 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the top. He'll pass. Has a double move. Well, both receivers end up in the same spot. Now he's got pressure. And the throw is a short one to the 24. It'll bring up 4th down. Sesteta made the catch, but not enough, and they'll have to punt.
And simple zone coverage there, trying to find the flat, but it was not open, and the receiver had his hand raised, but Richardson's arm, I don't know if he had the strength to kind of make that throw with the way the defense was kind of configured. And so now Canyon gets a stop, and it's kind of been more of the same, and what you want to see on defense, trying to continue that shutout, especially based on kind of where they are here, and trying to get that win to kind of wipe things off from last time they were here versus Dripping Springs.
Noah Long is the punter, but I don't believe that's him. I think that was the quarterback, Richardson, the backup punter. And here's a pickup of the return a nice looking play. That is Eli Adams on punt return, and he picked up after a bounce just short of midfield and runs it to the 25 where the Cougars will start 1st and 10. We'll call it the 30.
And that's where those low line drive type kicks will mess you up, because if you're running full speed and you can't see the offensive player or the returner as the ball starts coming down, you're not able to kind of put the brakes on fast enough to start trying to move, or if you're getting blocked. And we saw Xavier Nolan in the first half have a punt return for a touchdown, and then just there, Eli Adams had a good return himself on punt return as well.
And you saw the replay of Eli Adams, who kind of tried to lengthen it after he got slowed down and wiggled for a couple extra. About a 30-yard return after a punt that will be measured at about 35, so a +5 on the punt net, which isn't very good. There was an injured player. Offensive lineman Adam Ortiz was down on the Canyon sideline on kick coverage, and he'll make his way across the field as the Cougar offense comes on. Deuce Adams will be at quarterback, the sophomore. With his brother Eli down on the near sideline. 2 other receivers go top. Ortiz finally has made it across the field, and our play clock has begun. 10:17 to go in the game. Cougars up 39-0. Adams sends Bibbins to his right. Fakes the handoff. Looking a post pattern, not there. Everybody else is covered up pretty good, so he'll just tuck it and run with it. Get first down yardage before he's popped out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. Good run by Deuce Adams.
And that's the thing about Adams is he made one bad throw earlier, almost threw a pick in the first half, but really doesn't throw the ball into bad spaces. And because he has the speed to get around the edge, he doesn't have to throw the ball into bad spaces. If he sees nothing there, he could just take off and run, and did that right there for the first down.
Good read that time as his receivers were covered up. Fakes it to Bivens, keeps it himself. It is a designated quarterback run is what I was trying to say, as he gets about 5 yards inside the 15, maybe 4. Well, we'll call it 5. It'll be 2nd down and 5.
And on that play, the diving linebacker came in and hit Bibbins, and then he turned around. He really didn't realize Bibbins didn't even have the ball, and so Adams did a good job on the keep to make it look like he gave the ball away, and then had to run a long way just to get the 4 yards.
He'll pull it down and throw towards his brother into the end zone. I think he made the catch. Did he have a foot down? They'll call it a touchdown. I don't believe there's instant replay here, so that'll be a touchdown from brother to brother on a beautiful throw that Eli just hung on and made the catch.
And what a tough throw and tough catch. Adams is being ridden on his backside, trying to find his way on the fade, but Eli Adams, high points the football, goes up and gets it, and then brings it down. So what a wonderful play from both student athletes.
The extra point is up and good. It's 46-0. 9:13 to go in the game. We'll keep it here because this kickoff will happen before the commercial will, I'm sure, so we'll keep it here. Was that a backup kicker doing that extra point? I don't think that Austin Davidson went out there that time. We'll see who kicks it off here.
For Canyon, it's been complete domination here today, and with the team coming in at 1-5 with no wins in district, giving up 37 points per game, you thought it could get to that point. Lehman had one drive inside the 10. They fumbled it there, and that really kind of hurt them this entire game, where they've been on the wrong end of some turnovers. Canyon has taken advantage of those turnovers. They had a punt return for a touchdown. So they've done pretty much everything in all phases of the contest, and they've been really successful overall trying to get this second district win. And as the ball gets kicked off, we'll talk a little bit more about the schedule and what things look like for Canyon trying to back their way maybe into a playoff berth at this point in time of the season, especially after they did and made the playoffs last year.
Austin Davidson will handle the kickoff chores, so I don't have any doubt he probably kicked the extra point too. Cougars lead at 46-0. 9 minutes and a few seconds to go. The end-over-end kick into the wind won't go very far. Caught around the 21, returned up near the 35. So a decent return of the play. We'll see who gets it when they get up from the bottom of the pile. As the Lobos will start 1st and 10. I think that was Martinez again, who's returned almost every kickoff here tonight for the Lobos.
And that's, of course, done by design. Tanner Johnson hasn't been on the field for the last couple of possessions. And so Eddie Martinez has been the man who's returned it, one, because of the short kicks, because they weren't kicking it to him even when Johnson was in the game. And Martinez has done okay in those different situations. Richardson hands it off. Up the middle, not much room. Defensive line, linebackers all medium there. Aiden Muckenfuss among those in on the tackle that time. A short gain of a couple. It's 2nd down and 8. As the band kicks up and decides to play a little louder here as the game clocks away, now under 8:45 to go in the game. They'll send 2 receivers to the top side, 2 to the near side. Richardson will have a lone setback beside him. Low snap, he's going to throw it out here to the Kothman, the freshman. He loses helmet on the tackle. Muckenfuss and Galindo in on the tackle. Player will have to go out. The freshman will have to go out, and they'll send someone else in. And for Lehman, things don't get easier as the season goes on. They have some really tough opponents. They have Johnson later on in the season and Dripping Springs to end the season. So they're going to be going up against tough competition for the rest of the year at this point in time. Richardson wants to throw it again, has 2 receivers standing near one another. Now one breaks free. Now he gets chased, and he'll get sacked. Drops the ball. It's loose on the ground. I don't know. They're going to say the Lobos fell on it. This is the first time they've dropped the ball and fell on it, and that is one of their offensive linemen that did come up with it. That's a number we don't have on the roster. 50. They don't have a 50 on their roster. At least not on the roster we were given, but it's 4th down. And you talked about the schedule. The Cougars, after tonight, go on the road next week to play at Veterans Memorial. Veterans Memorial will be, well, they come into the game at 1, and they played tonight at home against, or I'm sorry, they played at Dripping Springs tonight. Here's the punt that angles near sideline and goes out of bounds on the Cougars side of the field. But they have Veterans Memorial on the road. Then they're back home for the final home game of the season week after next against Harlandale. Harlandale, another team tied with them and Veterans Memorial. Other scores around, Dripping Springs. Go ahead, tell them what the scores are. Yeah, you mentioned Veterans Memorial playing at Dripping Springs, and Dripping Springs is going to stay undefeated in district play. They're up 45-14, 10:41 to play, so things are looking good for the Tigers. Canyon, of course, is leading 46-0 here with 9:13 to play in the 4th, and Johnson, who is undefeated in district play, is leading Harlandale 35-9. A final, Seguin stays undefeated, and they have 37-14, that win over McCollum in district play. So things not moving very much at this point in time in the district play, and so for a team like Canyon that's going to need some help if they want to kind of make their way up the district standings. They're going to they have some tough competition as the season goes on, but everything's still out in front of the Cougars, especially after getting this win versus Lehman. And as I said earlier, now at 2-2 with their win, they'll be in 4th place by themselves, since both Veterans Memorial and Harlandale have lost. They'll have a game lead over both of those teams to try to get that 4th spot into the playoffs. As Alcorta takes the handoff and gets first down yardage. But things played kind of as we expected. All the teams that are 3-0 became 4-0. And Canyon, the one of 3 teams that were 1-2, they win to go 2-2, and everybody else below them falls on this. I call it week 8. It's the 7th game of the season, but with your open week, it's the 8th week of the season. And that's the way it is. Here's a pass by Adams out to the flat. Nice catch. Brandon Berlanga, his second catch of the season.
It is. Berlanga, who hasn't been active much of this year, but he did get, as James pointed out, his second reception. 2nd and 8. Clock runs are under 5.5 minutes to go as Adams hands this one off. It's Alcorta coming this way. Runs over one tackler. Now he's out in the open and then gets caught from behind. That's tough. He runs over somebody, then Vasquez catches him from behind at the 25. He didn't get enough power going quick enough to pull away into the end zone.
Oh, yeah, eyes got big. He knew what he wanted to do and where he wanted to go, but like you said, didn't shift gears fast enough. But again, another strong run. He has a rushing touchdown on the day, and he continues to play well this season behind Cameron Bibbins.
There's a different running back in the backfield now, and he gets the handoff. Coming near side, runs out of bounds, gets escorted out of bounds.
And our cameraman has to get out of the way down there.
Cade Becker, the junior, takes the handoff that time and gets himself about 4 or 5 yards to the 21.
Flying objects. Everybody has to be aware here on the Cougar Network. Never know when somebody's going to run up on you.
So Adams again at quarterback. Changes the play at the line as the play clock still at 15. Hands it off to Cade Becker again. This time goes right side. Tries to avoid the defender. Gets near first down yardage. Maybe a yard short at the 16. He's wrestled down by a couple of different Lobos.
Yeah, and returning back to the schedule for Canyon, they played a pretty tough start to the district slate. They played Dripping Springs to open district, then they played Seguin as well. And so those two teams, of course, were tied with Canyon last year for the district championship. All of those teams made the playoffs, and so now for Canyon, on the back end of their schedule, if they can just win games that they should win, they should put themselves in a really good position as the season comes to a close.
Adams hands it off again. Now this time he keeps it, pulls it back. He'll run for good yardage, get first down yardage inside the 10, almost to the 5, before he's wrestled down by a member of their secondary. I think it was Nathaniel Perez who got him down finally. So first and goal from, let's call it the 6.
And, of course, Canyon just taking this entire clock down. No need to be in any rush at this point in time with the scoreline way out in front.
Amen to that.
Wanting to just finish things off the right way, hopefully with a touchdown and the shutout.
Adams with the play clock, or the game clock now at 3.5 minutes to go, gives it to Alcorta, who goes up the middle and gets wrestled down after a gain of a couple. The ball at the 4. It's now second down and goal. Adams again looks to the sideline. Game clock now goes under 3 minutes to play. 46-0. Cougars on top, trying to make sure they hang on to this shutout. Lehman will get the ball one more time whether they score or not. Adams with a receiver to either side. Quarterback run. Someone comes up from the secondary, kind of takes him off his run. He avoids a tackler and dives into the end zone. Man, that was special. Deuce Adams had somebody chase him early, kind of knock him off stride, then turned the corner, avoided 2 different defenders, then squeezed his way towards the pylon and makes it a 52-0 score. That was a nice run.
Handling at 99. If he was a vehicle, his handling is exceptional as he swerved in and out to make sure that he found a way to the end zone. And he didn't have a touchdown here today, so he was trying to get one, and he got one.
And the kicker this time is Owen Painter, Jr. Second time he's kicked an extra point because he kicked the last one as well. So Painter does them both. Cougars go up 53-0, 2:37 to go in the game. I'm thinking this kickoff's going to happen in a hurry. And no, it's not. We'll take a timeout on the field. 53-0 on the Cougar Network. Cougars lead at 53-0, 2:37 to go in the game. A beautiful shutout by Canyon tonight to improve to 3-4 on the season, 2-2 in district play, and be all alone in fourth place. There are three teams that are 4-0, Canyon in fourth at 2-2. And Owen Painter will kick it off. The little pop-up kick, fair caught, and secured by number 3 for the Lobos, and he's not on the roster either. So it's a good thing it wasn't a close game with important names, we'd have to say, because we've now found our second player whose name we don't have on the roster. Needless to say, at 1-6 and 0-4, it's probably not a really big deal to the Lehman Lobos. So they'll have the ball, 1st and 10 from their own 35. Handoff coming this way. It's Vasquez. Breaks a couple of tackles. Gets wrestled down. Well, now that's Dunlow, who's run the ball several times tonight. He's finally brought down after a gain of 5. It's 2nd and 5.
And now what's next for Lehman? We kind of talked about their schedule, how it doesn't get any easier. And so as you think about what you're looking at this one this season, trying to find who you're going to kind of continue to play, who's going to be able to give you more on offense, more on defense, and that's kind of what the look is at this point in time.
And that is Noah Long at quarterback, has a keeper. Looks like first down yardage as he runs to the far sideline.
Some guys we didn't call very much here today. Joey Mojica, he came in with 4 touchdowns, 331 yards. He did not run the ball as often as we expected. Tanner Johnson, we said his name a lot, but not because he was catching the ball or running the ball. It was because we were wanting to see more of him on the offensive end. And he had a couple of big plays, but then we didn't see him as much, so you have to wonder kind of what that went into. So a lot of questions to kind of think about for Lehman at this point in time, but still plenty of time in the rest of the season to kind of see what you have and really kind of work your way in and kind of take a game in and game out. And that's what a lot of coaches say. I always make the joke about coaches talk and how they all say something along those lines, but it's kind of just where they're at this point in time, is kind of taking a game at a time and seeing what they have next.
Illegal procedure. Penalty before the play started. They do get McCullum next, and McCullum is the worst team in the league next to them. They haven't won a game, and they lost again tonight, so they're 0-7. So a 1-6 will play at a 0-7. Actually, that'll be home for Lehman. So an 0-7 will be at a 1-6. Long throws it to number 3. Short of a first down at the 41-yard line. Oh, Nathaniel Perez. He's on your roster, not on mine. Imagine that. You got an updated roster. So anyway, Perez takes the reception, makes it short, 2nd and short with 45 seconds to go. They've got a couple of more plays. Noah Long at quarterback. Sends 3 receivers to the near side. Gives it to Dumlow going, and he has first down yardage off left tackle. Wrestled down by several Cougars. So as they go in a hurry, Long will get everybody set again. First down play. He'll keep it after the fake to Dumlow and maneuvers his way up to about the 30 before he's wrestled down by Garrett Thiele.
And Lehman will call the timeout.
And Lehman calls a timeout on 2nd and 5. It'll be a short timeout, so we'll keep it here. Again, 12 seconds to go in the game. The Cougars are going to put this one in the books. 53-0 will be the final. Unless by chance in the last 12 seconds they can run one into the end zone that they haven't done for the first 47 minutes and 48 seconds.
And that's why I guess that's why you call the timeout. You have 2 plays. You're going to you want to get a first down here and then put yourself near the red zone. Because as a coach, you're not going to stop coaching if you don't want your players to stop playing.
Right.
So situationally, you want to give them the best chance. And to some, it might be, dying a slow death. But to others, it's the idea of, this is for me and my team. And that's kind of what he's going about. And you like that for Coach Salmon.
Well, we know he's coached all night long because he's used his timeouts well. This is a backwards pass to Dunlow. And he is chased out of bounds, which means we'll have another play after first down yardage inside the 25 at the 22. Well, they'll have, with 3 seconds to go, one final play and see if they can get into the end zone for the first time tonight. First down and 10 from the 22. Play clock at 22. Don't think he's calling the timeout. He's just got everybody on the same page over there in front of him as they work themselves into position. A couple of receivers that we haven't seen tonight out there as well. 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Long to throw, looking right, now has to scramble. He's going to try to keep it himself. He'll be wrestled down. Somebody else lost a helmet. Our referees are already running off the field. Let's make sure everybody's safe. Does look to be everybody's okay. And that'll be the end of the game. The Cougars win it 53-0. Final thoughts, James?
Final thoughts is that Canyon handled business in every phase. They had a punt return for a touchdown. They had a safety. They had field goals. They had passing touchdowns, rushing touchdowns. And so when you look back at the film, you're going to like what you see. And that's what you want, especially on homecoming. A lot of fans here. It was pink out, a lot of pink around, especially with it being October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so you love what you see overall for Canyon. A good win. And like you said, moving to 4th in district and just have to keep the train rolling if they want to make the playoffs once again.
Cougars win it 53-0, and senior running back Cameron Bibbins is homecoming king. Couldn't be a better night for him. So that'll do it for James Hadnot. This is Tony Brubaker saying good night and God bless. The Cougars win it 53-0.